Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brian Jackson, and welcome to another episode in the quarantine time from the city that never sleeps, St. Charles, Missouri. Today, I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, a great chiropractor. I think he has found the trip to the best golf swing in the world, and his name is Dr. Ben Hendrix. He is the owner and operator of Trust Spine and Sports. I think I said that right. He is a chiropractor, so he went to school longer than most of us. So please refer to him as Dr. Ben. He is also I don't know if he's a Tom Brady fan or a Patriots fan, but we're going to find out because this is Friends with Brry, and here are my friends. So, Dr. Ben, thank you for joining me on Friends of Bryan.
Hey, I'm very excited to be here, man, and I'm honored. And just want to start off by thanking you for having me and giving me the opportunity to be on this platform with you.
All right. Well, thank you very much. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty of the sports right now. Are you missing sports right now?
It's killing me, man. I'm missing sports a ton. The Masters, the start of the Cardinals season, just literally just being able to, at the end of the night, to wind down, throw on just a random sport. I'm a big sports guy. Grew up playing football and baseball. When I started to decline in my athletic ability in college, I picked up golf, and now that is my sport of choice for myself to perform and stay healthy. But yes, just to hammer home, I am missing them.
Did you play golf only for 4 years or all 8 years of college?
So I didn't actually pick up golf until I was about 22, 21, 22. So I was kind of in my, end of my second, beginning of my third year of college is when I picked it up.
So I know you as a huge Patriots fan,
Yes.
But has that changed with the recent news about Tom Brady? And Gronkowski's back.
Let's go.
I mean, a physical.
I'm devastated that he's not back, that they're both not back with the Patriots. So my fandom is staying in New England with the Patriots. So unfortunately, right now, I don't know what we're going to do at quarterback. The draft tonight will be big, see what we do. We're really low on cap space. So I'm a little worried about the 2020 season. But I also have found a way to skew the system. So my wife and I just had a son on the 24th of March, and he told me that he's a Tampa Bay fan. So now we're a house divided, but the Hendrix household is currently buying Tampa Bay things and as well New England Patriots things. So
do you know how much Pirate pays for corn?
How much?
A Buccaneer. That's always my go-to dad joke.
Dude, I love dad jokes.
And so tell us a little bit about. So moving on, let's make this clear, just so we're not isolated. You are a St. Louis guy, and so your number one baseball team, because we don't have a football team.
Correct.
Is what?
The Cardinals. Yeah, so I was born and raised in St. Louis. My fandom for the Patriots is odd. We won't get into it, but a huge Cardinal baseball fan. XFL, unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be here anymore, but I was a huge Battlehawks fan.
Cacaw, baby, cacaw.
Cacaw. Yeah, so my parents had season tickets, and I was looking forward to that taking off. But so no, I'm a St. Louis and Missouri boy, born and bred, been here my whole life, never lived outside of the state. So
tell us a little bit about your background besides being a sports lover and a Patriots fan.
Yeah, man, how far does it go back? So grew up in North County, Missouri, loved it, man. I feel like I had an amazing childhood upbringing. I was blessed with two amazing parents, an older brother, younger sister, and went through high school at McClure North. And again, just the education and the opportunities that I was presented with there, and that my parents allowed me to partake in. It really encouraged me to explore a lot of my options, and I just was blessed, man. Blessed in early childhood, and so thankful for it. And in high school, I actually had a class with my football coach, and it was called the Community Learning Program. And he said, I think placing you with this individual who I had already known as Dr. McLean. I had very little knowledge of chiropractic at that time. But he said, I think this would be a good fit for you. So it's kind of like a high school internship, basically. And so I got the opportunity to work with Dr. McLean in my junior year of high school. And it opened my eyes, man. I'm not exaggerating. I was in his practice for a week, and I realized how much he was helping people, what he did, how much he cared for his patients and his profession, and to bring healthcare to individuals in a new way. I knew within a week is what I wanted to do. And so I've known since I was a junior in high school that I wanted to be a chiropractor. And just from the opportunities that my high school and where I grew up allowed me to have, I set off from that path forward to get into chiropractic care and to be able to help patients the way that he was helping patients and that I was seeing all around me.
Really cool. So, so you knew that you wanted to do chiropractic care, and
Yeah.
let's see. And I can't remember how we met. I don't know if I met you as a chiropractor, but you're also working as a personal trainer at the local. Let me make sure I say this right because I say it wrong sometimes. The Rexplex,
Correct.
not the Rexplex.
Yeah. So when I was 19, my good buddy Jeff Presson and his dad got me a job as a front desk attendant for the city. And I kind of became a jack of all trades there. And I worked front desk. I did gym maintenance. And then as my schooling at Logan progressed, I became a personal trainer. And then I progressed into a personal trainer there. And eventually I would become the head personal trainer with your friend David, my friend David. And I also run the wellness program for the city of St. Peters. And so I met you through the Recplex initially. And that has been a major role in how I treat patients from kind of a multifaceted approach, and knowing kind of and having that personal training background, and that patients need strength, patients they need continued movement. So that is a huge part of how I treat and how I prescribe what that patient needs to really stay better, and to not always be revolving door or constantly having to go to a physician. Empowering patients and empowering us to know that we can control our health, and there's things that we can do. We all need a little help along the way, but having that empowerment is huge. And the Recplex has been a big part of that. And so I think that was initially how we met, and then obviously our friendship and has grown from there.
So I know what a chiropractor does, but how would you, for somebody who's never heard of a chiropractor, how would you describe being a chiropractor?
Man, that's a great question. The profession as a whole, or can I focus more in on on who
the way
I
I describe
am?
the profession is baby got back.
I'm going to keep a lot of ambiguity out of this. The profession as a whole has a lot of different specialties and individuals that focus on different areas. I'm going to explain chiropractic as how I see it and how I utilize it and how I treat in my office. So I see myself as a holistic musculoskeletal doctor. And what I mean by that is I treat mainly musculoskeletal issues, that being, muscle, joint injuries, all the way down to tendon ligament injuries. When I throw the word holistic in there, is that we don't take a microscope approach, meaning you come in with hip pain. That hip pain might be tied into lack of core stability. It might be tied into lack of glute strength, whatever that might be. But it also might be more joint related, and that might be tied into an inflammatory response from something that we're eating. And so I typically get the patients that are coming in for aches and pains in their body, and we take kind of a wider approach to that. Now, chiropractic has tools and ways to treat that also are a part of the profession and kind of separate us from other professions. We don't prescribe, we cannot prescribe any medications. And so our modalities of treatment are hands-on manipulation, manual therapy, so releasing muscles through either instrument assisted or even just manual touch, and then nutritional advice and exercise or rehab therapy to keep that patient moving and going. And that's definitely not the textbook definition of chiropractic. And of those who are listening, if we were to ask 10 different people who go to 10 different chiropractors, you're probably going to hear a lot of different answers on what chiropractic is. And so, again, just to take out a little bit of ambiguity, just to kind of let you know of who I am and how I see chiropractic and how I treat. So
you actually have your own practice, but you started, has it been 3 years? I feel like
we're in our third year. We're getting ready to come up. Start of our fourth year will be in June 1st.
And do you want to talk a little bit about trust? I mean, I know you talked about your approach to stuff, but I also love the name trust. And how you came up with that.
Yeah. So the name of my practice is Tross Spine and Sports Performance. And we opened up in 2017. We are in Cottleville. Our main location is in Cottleville. We have a satellite clinic inside of the Dynamic Training Center that is actually on the property of the Recplex it's kind of owned by the city of St. Peters. And we have been very blessed in the Cottleville area. We love the small business community around us. It's been a pleasure being there. In 2017, we wanted to offer a different approach to chiropractic care to individuals in the area. And so it is not your typical chiropractic office. And we pride ourselves on that. We really take the time to listen to our patients and to not have a cookie cutter approach, to really have a dynamic approach to each patient and what they're coming in for. And sometimes that can look literally totally different for every single patient in a day. Now, we have our guidelines and our things that we know are true and things that we know help the body, but each individual is so unique. And so we pride ourselves in making sure that we treat each individual as individuals and not cookie cutter and not going through the same motions every day. We came up with the name Tross. So my good buddy, Justin Kennard, who is our head of marketing and design, I kind of threw him, hey, this is what I want my practice to be. This is how I want to approach chiropractic. And he was like, awesome. I love where you're at. Kind of gave him my mission statement, my personal mission statement at the time. And he knew that I wanted to do, be in the treatment realm for athletes and individuals that want to stay moving and want to stay active. And so at the time, and I still am, a Titleist Performance Institute doctor. And all that really is an extra training to give me a little more expertise in how to treat the golf athlete. And what's so cool about it is it translates into a lot of different athletes. But So he started shooting me some names, and he shot me albatross, which is a bird, but it also is a double eagle in golf. And the cool part that he started tying in, he was like, hey, this is an elite thing for a golfer to get. But what's also awesome is that this word albatross means, to have something, a physical barrier or a physical limitation, something that is impeding you from getting to where you want to go. And I just love that part of it. It was what I feel people come into us for. They come into us with an obstacle, a physical ailment, something that's impeding them from where they want to go in their health, from what they want to do in their lives, on how they want to stay active and continue to do the things they love. And I wanted to be the catalyst to help those individuals get through that albatross, if you will, to get to where they wanted to be in their health and to get them back doing what they love. If you listen to anything or read anything I write, that is a huge part for me, is utilizing what I've learned and my skills and my avenue to get people back to doing what they love, and doing it pain-free, and to do it more healthy. And so that's where the name came from. And then our logo is a bird from albatross. And after he sent it to me, the more I started diving into the word and diving into the bird can fly from North America to England without stopping. It was unbelievable.
No way.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, I learned all these like tidbits about the albatross when we first named it that. But it's been an awesome ride, man, and we're very thankful and very blessed for the opportunity that we have.
That's awesome. I love what you said about like your approach to chiropractic care. Just as a doctor in general, that you want to treat each individual as an individual, because oftentimes, a subconscious can kick in, and we always want to do what is easier. But it really shows the ability to go the extra mile in people's lives when you treat everybody on an individual. Like, yes, there's a lot of problems that we have, and a lot of problems overlap, but each person is experiencing a certain problem very differently, and they need a different approach that's not going to work for everybody else. Because it would be in great favor if it was just a simple, like, you could just give everybody like 3 simple things and be like, oh, I'm giving this to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, we sadly don't live in a one-size-fits-all world, and I think that's where we get in a lot of trouble, just on the regular basis of human beings, is we try to put everything into this all or nothing box, or this one-size-fits-all, and everybody comes in different shapes, different sizes, different backgrounds, different histories, different families. And that's the beauty of life. And to really draw that out and bring that into a game plan is very noble, in my opinion.
I appreciate that. And you're 100% correct. The saying I say all the time is, no low back pain is created equal. No ailment anywhere is created equal on any individual. And I actually was lucky enough to have a podcast yesterday about taking the easy route, and the long term, is that really what's healthier for us? And from an individual standpoint, most of the time, the answer is no. You're so right. Like, our human nature is to go towards that path that is the least painful or the quickest or the easiest. But most of the time, if you look at the long-term approach versus the short-term approach, it's not always the healthiest. And so kind of took that approach into myself and how I can be a chiropractic physician for my patients. And like, can I do something quick and fast that might help today? Yes. But is that truly going to be the long term? Are they going to consistently need this? Or can we take a longer term look at the health and say, this might be a little longer road, but this is going to be not just a Band-Aid approach. This is going to be something that's going to help you long term and help you lifelong. And it's not easy for myself from the way that I approach health. I would love just a quick, easy fix for everything, but it's just not how it works. And I always tell people, just be very careful when you're Googling things and getting an answer for what works for the majority or what that is for the majority, because we don't fall into that. And so what might work to get low back pain for my 9 o'clock patient isn't going to work for my 9:30 patient. So
I know. Me personally, I was doing a CrossFit a couple of years back, and I told him doing the CrossFit Open, which is like their big thing every year. Injured my shoulder, and I was going there like almost every week, like put it back, put it back, put it back. But then finally, I think you and I think you had already agreed on this. You're just like, hey, let him do his thing. But I think we finally get into the agreement. Yeah, I need to stop this, and then like finally just relax and not do so much and really rehab it. And the thing is like injuries can pop back up out of nowhere. And so to have somebody like you who's a quick reminder, like, hey, if you want a quick fix, there's a quick fix, right? And I think that's what a lot of people are driven to. Just in life in general is that quick fix. But there's also these other people who's like, wait a minute. I realize the quicker I do something, the quicker it comes back. But if you just sustain, if I do what's sustainable over long term, then that will last me long term.
100%. And that goes into so many areas of health when you really start to break it down. And that's mental health, physical health, nutritional health. Usually, mentally, if we're not in a good spot, there's something quick we can do. It'll give us a very short-term response that we feel better, but it's not actually addressing the issue. And that's not my area of expertise. So I don't mean to get out of my lane here, but just giving examples. Nutritional health, like, yeah, we can drop 15 pounds in 10 days. I've seen wrestlers do it. I've seen UFC fighters do it. But there's also physiological responses to that long-term are not good. And so taking a slower, more sustained approach is actually better for the health, and it's actually more sustainable. Not to be redundant there, but what we're talking about really, man, it goes into so many areas of health, and it can't be overstated.
Gotcha. So right now we're living in this crazy world with COVID-19, and I know we were talking a little bit about, and I'll let you put out your disclaimer. I appreciate you bringing up the disclaimer for me. But yeah, in this crazy world we live in right now, how are you doing personally? I know you and your wife got a big surprise this year, so that's awesome.
Surprise, and not so much. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, and I just want to know what you're doing during the COVID pandemic.
Yeah, man. How I'm doing, man. I think I'm doing like everyone else, man. I early on had this like ups and downs and roller coaster, and for anybody that's just been even keel along this ride, I commend you. Early on, I kept telling my patients, I kind of feel like I have two different brains. Like in 1 minute, I'm kind of having this feeling, and the next minute I'm having this feeling. And for me, it was just because so much of the information from very credible sources that we were getting was so different. And it was so much of an unknown for us. And my disclaimers really is I like to stay in my lane. And there's areas that I'm very good at. I know I spend my time studying. I've put the time in the books. I've put my time into the hands-on, the physical practice of it. And there's other areas that I have limited knowledge. And so this, some of this is opinionated, which as an American, I feel like I'm entitled to, right? We all do.
Mm-hmm.
But, for me, we have a 4-week-old right now. And so that was the big part of my studies and my looking into is what is going on with this age population? What can my wife and I do to make sure that we are being as safe as possible? And you go with the recommendations and you go with what the experts in that area are saying. And if somebody were to, if there was a low back pandemic and I was giving information on that, and I hope this analogy correlates, but I would feel funny if somebody outside of having the hours that I've put in on low back pain and the amount of times that I've put into the books and the specified research for that were to come in and say something totally different. And so that's where I kind of like to stay in my lane is I read from those individuals that have the time and the expertise in those areas. And I try to use my educated and scientific mind to make a decision on how I'm going to react and how my family and I are going to take steps to be as safe and as healthy as possible. Sometimes inside of my own house, like we differ in opinion, and I think you're seeing that so much more in America, and I think it's great. Like I love that. I think that we all come from a different situation, and our health is in different places, and we are tied into individuals at different age ranges, and our reaction and our response to that are going to be based off of what our personal situations with things have been. And everybody really is 100% entitled to how they're feeling with this. And that's where I think, unfortunately, again, we get these opinions that are all or none. And that doesn't make sense to me personally, to put everyone in these categories and to say, oh, we all should be working, or, oh, we should all be inside for 365 days. To me, there's not enough research one way or the other.
Yeah.
And we're getting so much differentiating opinions from experts, from people that they spent their lifetime being in these fields of infectious disease, epidemiology, and things like that. And so you take the consensus and you go from there. But my personal opinion on it it's been a roller coaster of emotions. Just like I think most of us, at times I'm wondering if I'm doing everything I can. And then other times I feel like things are just crazy. And it continues to change day by day. And I feel like as a society as a whole, we've done a really good job of thinking of others, which is huge. That is something that I found a lot of happiness in seeing, that we were not only thinking about ourselves, but we were thinking about others. And, people were taking precautions and being very mindful that this could hit certain subgroups and could hit people differently and more hard, if you will, for lack of a better term. And that part has been good to see. I've loved the extra time that I've had with my family and my toddler. It's been a blessing. We have a little cul-de-sac outside of our house, and we have been out there so much more than if life was normal. I've gotten more time with her, and to get to enjoy bonding and growing her and I's relationship through the day. And for that, it's been a blessing. there's been some things that have been really hard. My son has not seen family, grandparents, uncles, cousins, except for through Skype and video calls and pictures and through Windows, so that part of it was weird and hard. And, but at the same time, you just get through it and you just keep trucking along. One thing that I do hope that comes of this, though, is that we kind of change our approach in health and how we look at it as a whole or as a society, and making sure that we're taking steps daily to try and get ourselves, for those individuals that can't, some individuals really, it's not a choice. Some of us fall into these groups, and it's not by choice. It's just unfortunately how the human body is. But for those of us that, can make a healthier choice and to be more proactive than reactive in situations on health, to try and get yourself to make the choice not to allow yourself to get into groups that might be hit harder by an infectious disease, to be in kind of the obese range, or to have self-inflicted lung capacity issues, to take steps that are proactive in health and to allow your body to be more whole and to have an immune system that can really help you in times of need. And I hope that it's not so much reactive here in the next coming months, but that we really kind of take a step back. As a country, we're not even in the top 30 healthiest countries in the world, which is crazy when you think about the United States of America. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that, but to really just look at the overall numbers and to say the United States of America is not in the top 30 healthiest countries in the world really makes me take a step back. And how can, as a practitioner, how can I put out good information that's solid, wholesome, evidence-based to help us as a society push towards a proactive health approach and not a quick reactive approach when we need it right on the spot. And then we don't have it, or we don't have the capacity for it. That's crazy that something can hit us so hard and to not have the capacity or the ability to fight that off, and that such a large population is in that group. It's unfortunate, and I just personally hope that I do a good job of continuing to put out information so that we as a whole can make the steps in the right direction.
Yeah, I find it very interesting that most of the time, it's just a subconscious state. Like, we just get in this thing of like, it's not a problem until it's a problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how some people are running around on this. It's like, oh, it doesn't affect me, so therefore it almost doesn't exist. But obviously that's against the facts,
Right.
Like, just because you haven't been in a car accident doesn't mean that car accidents don't happen. And me being a health freak, like, I believe there's mind, body, and spirit, and all those areas need to be worked on, and you have to be on your game on each one of them. Because I just had a realization, like, if I wasn't doing certain things, and due to my story and being immunocompromised, like, I think I would be in worse shape. And I'm very blessed that I had the ability to stay on top of my health and continue adjusting things around the way, because it's made me a better person internally and externally, and by the people I'm around. Now, I know maybe when I first got on like the keto train, people are like, "Oh, here he goes with that." But what I'm getting at is like, hey, yes, we can't have the one size fits all, but we can't live in the total ignorance. And just because it doesn't, what I've realized in life is just because it doesn't affect us now, doesn't mean it can't affect us later.
Correct.
And so that's why I continue to stay on top of my health and like stay ahead of the game, is because I want to be there. Hopefully one day I'll have kids and I can be there for my kids, and I can be I not just be like a sideline parent, uh, but like a parent who's very active, because I was blessed to have a mom who, wanted to play sports with us and wanted to go out and do things. And actually, when she tried doing like parkour when she was still recovering from a broken back, and she's just awesome, and I love that she gave me that gift, and that's what I want to give. And I started realizing, like, hey, I can't do anything for anybody if I'm continuing to be depressed. I can't do anything for anybody if I can't run at least a mile. I can't do anything if I continue to go overweight and just eat like crap and stuff. And so that was a real wake up call. It wasn't just about looking good and feeling good. Maybe that was a huge goal for the now,
Yep.
but the long term goals have to be there, and you have to look at health as a whole, not just temporary, but as a whole.
Yeah.
And so I love that you
100%.
brought up that you wish the outcome from this is like getting people thinking about their health, because I'm sure back in February when this was just specifically in China, people are like, that's not going to happen to me.
Mhm.
And then it did, you
Mhm.
know? So how, instead of like waiting for something to happen, how are you making things happen for your health now?
100%, man. Yeah. I mean, you nailed it. And it's the job of individuals in the healthcare sphere. So personal training, chiropractic, the medical field. There's a ton of work for us to do to make sure that as practitioners and as a healthcare as a whole, that we're doing our part to make sure that the society continues to get this information so it doesn't just go by the wayside, that we continue to talk about these things, and to do the things that we're doing right now to give ourselves the best chance of maybe not contracting this virus. A lot of people are taking these extra steps and precautions, which are awesome. I'm glad we're doing that. But why not look at that as a whole and make that a lifestyle choice from here on out? You know what I mean? And
the big thing that I tell everybody is like, this, with the COVID going down, sadly, it made me realize how dirty the word is. Just like it's a shocker that we, not in the 21st century, where we have the greatest plumbing here in the United States of America, we have to remind people to wash their hands, or teach them how to know to wear gloves. But hey, remember there's cross contamination, so glove up, or clean up before you move on to the next thing. And there's a lot of learning that's involved in this that I thought was just basic knowledge. And the good thing about it, though, is I'm glad people are actually learning about all that stuff, not just like we're still going on and secretly being, dirty and out of mind, out of sight, So yeah, I just I hope that people take their health serious and realize like there are just simple things that we can do that can go a long way. And
yeah. And
so, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, on that point, I've had multiple conversations, and I say this cautiously, in that I'm so sorry for those who've been affected by this personally and inside their families, but some good things as a society that could come out of this. And one of the, you kind of hit on one there. Another one was slowing down a little bit for mental and physical health and spiritual health. Taking the time to literally not be running every weekend. My wife and I had that conversation on it's nice to not be going all the time, and that the physical and spiritual and mental health has seemed to improve, taking a step back. And I'm a goer, so
Yeah.
it was tougher for me. But to see those benefits and just to kind of maybe grasp some things that can come good of a situation. And again, I hope there's a preacher at the church where my wife kind of grew up going. He always says, "Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm very, very sorry for those who've been personally affected by this. And I don't mean that this anyway, if you've been, personally affected, it's a good, but the good that we can grab out of it, some things that we can continue to go forward and make those changes that are good for us." And I think there's a lot of them. And if you personally just sit back and look and say, okay, over this 5-week span so far, like what has been good? What has gotten a little better? And how can I hold on to that moving forward? And that's been kind of a fun thing for my wife and I to do. And I think it's good for our mental psyche right now. And I think it helps us. And again, it gets us thinking about moving forward and to make some things a priority.
Yeah, when unfortunately it takes strategy in a lot of people's lives to finally realize what matters in life. And I am too, very sympathetic to those who are affected by this, more so than we are, which we're both, blessed to be at home, safe, um, uh, and that's awesome. But I do agree with you, like slowing things down and reevaluating what matters, and resetting the priorities um, for what you want in life. Because I mean, I was the same way. Go, 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 go. Got to do this, got to do this. And now I feel like I'm just getting my money's worth of my mortgage, because I'm here, and I don't even know if I've used this room before. And but it's helped me, it's helped me reach out to people I haven't had contact with in a long time, and really spend time with them in a different way. Which I would just love for them to come over and hug them. But those relationships, I really want those relationships moving forward from here, in this slow world. So
Yeah.
thank you for bringing that up. Yeah,
No, for sure,
what matters, man. And shifting those priorities.
For sure. Yeah. The it's been crazy, man. I feel like I've been blessed on the days where we're still treating patients at a kind of a limited capacity right now. Hoping to get back to normal here soon, but I've been blessed to hear a lot of different takes on this and how it's affecting each individual different, and it's deep, right? It's I had a patient yesterday told me of a family member who has been diagnosed with cancer and couldn't get in to get any treatment yet. So that's been postponed. That's been hard. And, but financially, a lot of people are being hit. And the physical pains of not being able to do your normal routine, not to be with your trainer, or to not be have access to your gym, or whatever that might be. I've seen individuals be affected by that they're having issues that have been at bay for a long time. Now they can't get off their couch, and so I'm just very sympathetic to us as a whole, man. And I'm looking forward to us continuing to move forward and get better, and getting through this day by day, and just sympathetic and sorry, and hoping that we all come out of this a little better and grabbing things that we can. And it's kind of where my head's at, man. I know I probably went in circles, and I feel like that's how this whole 5 weeks has been. It's just been this roller coaster mentally, and trying to grab my thoughts. And yeah, so But I enjoy talking with you about it too, just different perspectives and hearing different individuals' takes on it. We've been running behind at the office a little bit, just talking to people. Because I think people just want to sit down and have a face-to-face conversation. I'm wearing mask and we're having the distance when they're not getting treatment, but it's that part of it too, just social interaction. So if you are a patient and you've been coming and the office has been running about 10 minutes behind, just know that we're all just needing a little extra time right now.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap up here, the quick fire of questioning here
Cool.
is, what are 3 things with the gyms closed? What are 3 things that you can encourage people to have a better, healthier lifestyle, even in the midst of staying at home?
Try to set a routine. So having somewhat of a timeline throughout your day. So don't let the day just from 8 o'clock to 7 o'clock literally just go by sitting on your phone. I've had patients come in, they're like, I got my iPhone update and I was on my phone 7 more hours a day, or 6 more hours a day, or 4 more hours a day. By setting that, it happens, right? Like that's what we're doing right now. And so by setting yourself a reminder and literally an alarm on your phone. So like whenever I'm helping people with changing positions and making sure that we're using all areas of the body, an actual sound reminder on the phone, keeping that schedule. So 8 to 9, have your U time, have your coffee, read your articles. But then 9 to 9:30, set that in as a block to remind you to get up and move. We've got to still get just our normal movement that we would get through a day, walking to the car, walking up to the 5th floor to your job, walking from the job back to your car, walking to lunch. Like, we're not getting any of that natural movement. And so just slate these times in to get up and mimic some of the movements that you would have done through the day. And it does not have to be strenuous. Just kind of walk around the house, go up and down the stairs a couple of times. The second segue into that is to move. So we are beings that need movement. And so don't sit too long. Don't stand too long. Don't walk too long. Don't take your 14 hours and walk all day. But also don't sit for too long. We have incorporated walks, which I've seen a ton of people. There's so many more people out in my neighborhood. You can still walk on the sidewalks. You can still walk on the streets, like, safely. My neighborhood doesn't have a ton of sidewalks. The distance, right?
Walk with the rule, like a yardstick or something.
Right.
Get back.
Right. Disclaimer: I'm not telling us to break any of the rules that are set in place, but I always say streets because my subdivision doesn't have a ton of sidewalks. But get out. So slate. And then I would like to see individuals do some heart rate activity. So elevating the heart rate, 30 minutes minimum, unless otherwise, you've been told otherwise by your doctor. But for the vast, vast, vast majority of us, we need to elevate the heart rate. And so you usually can't do that by just doing the basic movements that I was talking about in the house. There is some great individuals putting out online exercises. Use your phone, throw it up. You'll scroll through, you'll find individuals that they're doing their part to give back right now. I've sent you a couple of them, and there is ways that you can get your exercise in with literally having zero to no equipment. There's also ways to use things around your house. When we're giving shoulder rehab, I tell people to grab a can of soup, a can of peas, like, get a little bit of weighted resistance. Use some things in your house that are safe, solid, but they can give you some weighted resistance. The body has to be taxed to keep your muscle health up, to keep your bone health up, especially as we age. That weight, the resistance, strength training becomes ever more important. So it's important, hugely important all the way through life, but don't let this time, especially if, you haven't had any kind of weighted resistance, don't let that slip by. do some sit to stands with whatever it is. I'm trying to look around my house right now. I'm blessed to have, some equipment, punching bags, some weights at the house, but grab something that has a little bit of weight to it. Do 30 sit to stands. Sit down in a chair, stand up, sit down in a chair. Get engaged through the core. We cannot be in this couch seated position, turning off the core, leaving our muscles sedentary all day long. You're going to need help eventually, and you're going to be in my office, and I'm do these things to stay out of the office. And I don't even know if that's 3, but the last one would be, right now I've heard a ton of patients talk about snacking. So out of boredom, we're going to the fridge, we're eating. I know produce was tough to get there, but try to go towards something that had or has a face, or something that the earth has given us, something that has grown, that God has given us through the earth. So fruits, vegetables, things that have a face. Like, try to snack on those things. Let's try to stay away from things in bags and wrappers, in cans. We need that healthy nutrients to keep ourselves energetic and to also keep the physiology intact while we're going through this time. We cannot let our nutritional choices slip in this time, because that has such an effect on the rest of our body. And so that would be the quick, easy tips. Set time, set a reminder. Don't get caught in the lull of the day with literally going through the day without changing your routine or having some kind of structure. We need that as humans. We need that structure. Second thing, just to kind of reiterate, just get up and move through the house. Nice, easy, light movement. Do that periodically through the day. Third, use your outside areas that you have to get just your average movement exercise. Elevate that heart rate. Get online, find an online class or training that doesn't require any equipment, and elevate your heart rate. Find some resistance, find some weight in your house, and then really continue to try and stay focused on your nutrition. Don't let that slip. So you asked for 3 and I gave you like 5. Sorry, man.
No, I love that. I know routine's a big thing, and I think during this time, a great routine is, even instead of like rolling out of bed onto this call, get up, have your normal you time before you have to get in the crazy of call this person. Put on some pants, like get out of the sweatpants for a while, and just put on those jeans. I realized I've been wearing a lot more sweatpants because I haven't been leaving the house.
Yep.
And I put on some jeans. It didn't go over so well. So I was like, not only would it be good for the routine part to put on jeans, it's also great because to see if those jeans are still fitting. So, and I like that move, movement. I actually just got my reminder that it's time to stand because we've been on this
I got mine
for the
too.
last hour. I like it. And then, getting those different components, not just, walking, but elevating the heart rate, the resistance, for the muscles, and especially the core. And then eating healthy. I personally don't get the boredom snacking, but I do know some people who I love dearly who do. So I'm not going to say their names, but they're going to watch this video and they're going to be like, he's talking about me. But overall, I think those are 3 great tips for ways that we can stay healthy now, and especially from all of this. And just to sum this up, thank you so much for taking the time to educate us about chiropractic care and giving your personal and professional opinions on the COVID, but more importantly, giving your personal and professional opinions on what we should be doing to stay healthy and absorb this time instead of just letting it pass by us.
No, man, I very honored. I appreciate it. This has been fun. I've loved this, and thank you for giving me the platform to be able to educate where I can, and I hope that we all can grab something from this and really just continue to move forward. And just know, if you guys need anything, I'm here. You don't have to be a patient. Reach out to the office or via email. I'm sure Brian has all my contact. Let me know if you need anything. So any way I can help right now, that's been something that's, helped me, like, physically. I just want to continue to give back during this time. And that's, there's a lot of personal gain in that too. And so if you guys need anything, let me know. And again, thank you very much for having me, man. Very honored. And
what's your website name if people would like to go check out?
It's trossspine.com. So it's TROSSSPINE. I always tell people the 3 S's look a little funny. That's our website, and that's got all our information on it. And we're more than happy to help in any way possible. And if it's an area we feel like it's our expertise, we'll give our opinion. And if not, then we'll get you in the hands of somebody who does know that topic and is an expert on that topic.
All right. Well, thank you again, Dr. Ben, and it's been a pleasure and an honor. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you learned something as much as I learned things about, especially, I'm still stuck on that Tross, the bird flying from America to England without stopping.
Dude, it's crazy.
I'm still blown away by that. So anyways, this is Friends of Brry. Thanks for watching. And any friend who stays at home with you is a friend of mine. And I messed that up. I was going to have a whole tagline, but thanks for watching, everybody.
No, thanks again, man.
You take care, Dr. Ben. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Have a good day.